Hello, everyone. My name is Chrissy Smith, and this is Nine Lives Energy, and together we energize your body from the inside out. Thank you so much for joining me this evening for our magical new Gemini new moon, and I'm excited to share the astrology with you this evening. But before we get started, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel because it helps get the information out there to those who need it most. And if you would like a personalized reading, make sure that you check out my banner here. And I'm going to be playing this throughout the chat this evening, and you can also find my information in the description box below. Now, I'm adding this to the stage real quick. If you guys can see this, let me make it just a little bit bigger. If you do not know what your rising sign is, you can figure this out with this website. It's called Astro, and then you want to put a dash in between that and seek.com. And then you're going to go to Free Horoscopes, Natal Birth Chart online. If you don't know what your time of birth is, not a problem, okay? You can just listen to your rising sign. But if you know your time of birth, this will take us to your rising sign, and you don't have to listen just to your sun sign. So the chat this evening, if you listen to your sun sign, that's going to give you information about your sun. But if you listen to your rising sign, that is who you're stepping into, or it's how the world sees you. And then for psychological interpretations or how you will feel this new moon emotionally, you can listen to your moon sign. So with Astro-Seek, you can see what time you were born, and that'll tell you what your moon sign is and your rising sign. But let's just get into it for the collective sake. So let me change out this preview. There we go. So this is the basic new moon that is going to be happening here in Gemini at 11:02 tonight. And if you are on the eastern seaboard of the United States. Now, you will need to adjust accordingly for where you are in the earth. But this is for the collective for the eastern part of the state. So where this black moon is, that is where the new moon is going to be happening. And you can see that we have a lot of action going on in Gemini there. We have Mercury there. Mercury is controlled by Gemini. And we have the sun there. We have the moon. So anytime the moon goes on top of the sun, that is what we call a new moon, because that is when the moon is the darkest. And so the opposite sign of the sun is going to be where the full moon is. So we had a full moon in we're going to in Sagittarius, and then we are going to have a new moon in Gemini coming up today and tomorrow. So we also have Jupiter there in Gemini. So that is going to be our fourth point for that particular zodiac sign. So anytime we have a more than 3 or more planets in a given sign or house, that is going to that is called a stellium of planets. And so we got a lot of action going on in Gemini. We also have a lot of action going on where this red check mark is in Aries. We have a lot of outer planets there. So Neptune has just moved in there. We also have Neptune. Did I just say Neptune just moved in there? And it hasn't been in there for over 100 years. And we have Venus in there. Venus, it makes its trek around the zodiac a little bit less than that, less than a year. And then we have Saturn there, who hasn't seen Aries in this place in about 30 years. So we want to think about where we were about 30 years ago, because some of these same themes are coming up. That was around 1996. So think about where you were at that time, right? And what were some of the themes? Saturn had just entered Aries, and so there was kind of a change in our structure. And this is when we think about 1996, that was when I went to college and the internet had just come out. And so if you were lucky enough to have internet before 1996, you probably remember the old downloadable modem sound, right? And so think about how far we've come in that given time. So because Saturn is about our structures and our career and our legacy, it is moving into our first zodiac sign, which is Aries, and it's about action. So there's going to be a lot of new beginnings. I would say over the next 2 to 3 years, where people are going to be maybe having a change of their identity and what they want to do for a career. And so if you're somebody like me, 1996, that's when I went to college to learn how to be a health and fitness enthusiast, right? And so that ship is coming to a close, and I feel like I am stepping into my new role to be an astrologer. So you want to think about maybe some careers that you could have maybe for the next 20 years, because Pluto, that is where this trine is going to be making a good aspect to this new moon and also to Mercury. So we're going to have a cazimi on the 30th of May, and it's going to be 4 days right after this new moon, or 3 days. So it could be within the orb of influence 3-day window if you do experience this new moon on the 27th. So this is going to give us a big push, okay, for anything that you want to manifest, because Gemini controls the mind. And so what do we need to have? We need to have positive thoughts. We not only need to have, a positive body image and exercise and take care of our health, but how is our mental health? How is our psychological health? How is our spiritual health? And so you are being asked at this time to think about what are your hopes and your wishes and your dreams, and what do you want to manifest next? Because if you've had a tower moment over the last 5 years, there's been some challenges in how we communicate and how everything was online, right? And when we had the lockdowns, and so now it's thinking about, okay, now that we have been distant from each other, how can we come back together as a collective and do some of these things that we were doing online and do them more in a together type movement? Like, what have we learned over the last 5 years, and how can we implement that into having a career in the new age? Okay, because Aquarius is new age, and Pluto is going to be there for the next 20 years. So what type of job do you want to have that's more new age? So let's think about, some things that Aquarius controls. Aquarius controls the future, technology, service to humanity, far off distance places, space, UFOs, astrology. So finding maybe some new innovative type ways that you want to be of service to humanity is going to be a highlight for the next 20 years. So maybe thinking about how you want to implement those types of activities into a career, if that has been highlighted for you, or if maybe you have had a change in some relationships recently and they don't serve you anymore because maybe they were a part of your old identity, but maybe your new identity is coming on board, it's coming online. And so you want to take advantage of that and implement routines that are going to help you bring about this new identity of who you want to be, and being free to express yourself, because Aquarius is all about freedom, and freedom of truth, freedom of expression, and just being authentic. Now, this cazimi, as I mentioned earlier, that is when a planet goes into the heart of the sun. So it's a very auspicious day, and we're having this right after this manifestation. So it's just going to be another cataclysmic, if I say that right, cataclysm, whatever, you know what I mean, boom, that is going to be highlighting your manifestations and just giving them just a little bit more fairy dust to whatever it is that you wish to desire. Now we have Mars. I don't have that mentioned up here on the collective notes, but it is in Leo. And so it likes to be in Leo because fiery planet Mars likes to be in the fiery sign of Leo. And the sun is actually Leo's ruler. And so we're going to kind of see a lot of these manifestations and these goals and these hopes and these wishes and dreams, doing a lot of behind the scenes work, because Saturn controls our structure. Saturn is slow progress. It's our lessons in life. And so there's no quick solutions to Saturn. It's in there for the long haul, and it is a earth sign just like Taurus is. And we have Uranus in Taurus right now. And it's been there for about 7 or 8 years. And so we got just a little bit more time for it to be disrupting our Earth before it goes into the air sign of Gemini to be spreading more truth out there into the community, which Gemini rules, that is of service to humanity and freedom and truth of information. All right, so these are some of the collective themes right now, and let's see how that is going to be applying to you most personally. Well, let me see here. No, we want to add that to the stage. There we go. I'm having so many technical difficulties, but a lot of these technical difficulties that are happening this evening are because of a picnic problem. So when I worked in, I guess my IT job a long time ago, when I processed bills, there was a guy that worked in IT, and he said, "Are you having a picnic problem today, Chrissy?" And I'm like, "What is that?" And he said, "Problem in chair, not in computer." So that is my technical difficulty today, is the problem in the chair, not in the computer. So Aries, you are having this new moon, and you can see the moon highlighted in the 3rd house of communication, short distance travel, cars, communication, social media, cousins, siblings. Okay, so you are having Jupiter expand all of this for the last year for you. But you're going to have another little boost of energy here in Gemini themed parts of your life. And it is making a trine to where you see that triangle up there in the top of the chart to Pluto. So Pluto is about death and rebirth and transformation. So there's going to be some transformations on how we service the community. And so you want to think about what job do you want in order to make that happen. And Gemini is about the mind as well. So what things do you want to be learning about that could, see where the red check is, be giving you a new identity, a new sense of purpose. So how do you want to show up in the world? That could be a theme going on right now. So it would be a good idea for you, Aries, to be thinking about what it is that you want to learn and how that makes you show up differently in the world and how people identify you as, because you are learning this new thing so that you can be of service to humanity. Now, I do see Mars here in the 5th house of creation and fun and entertainment. So that is also making a positive trine to the 1st house of our structure and of Neptune, not Neptune, but of Saturn being there, our structure in Aries, and of Neptune. So there could be people that are Aries that are looking to become spiritual leaders or to be leaders of some type of spiritual movement or creating some type of spiritual business. So what are some of the things that you probably need to be doing, some common sense things behind the scenes in order to make that happen? Not just wanting to be that, but what are you doing behind the scenes? So for example, if maybe you have had some type of epiphany and you are somebody new, how are you going to spread your word that you are this new person? You could spread it on social media. So you could be getting a boost right now of ideas about how to create a new social media channel. You're being blessed with this at this time in order to possibly share your story to help others. So if you got something out of this, Aries, make sure that you like this video, comment below if it resonated, and make sure that you share this information with another Aries if you got something out of this. And don't forget to check out the description box below. My contact information is in there to make an appointment and is also on the ticker below. Thanks so much, Aries, and happy new moon in Gemini. Taurus, you are having this new moon in Gemini in your 2nd house, and you control the 2nd house. And Taurus controls all the things that are of value, the pleasures of life, things of beauty, taking things slow. So you could be learning something new, but you're taking that information slow, or the information that you are learning is something that is of value. Now, I do say that you have a trine, where the triangle is, from this new moon to your career house. So it could be a very good idea for you to maybe start some type of social media presence if you are trying to build up who you are trying to be new. Or maybe you're trying to find a way to find some hidden monies for maybe some type of side hustle business there. So just try to be listening for that, because you do have Saturn and you do have Neptune, where that blue check is, in the house of a water sign, which is Pisces. So Neptune has been in Pisces for the last 14 years, and it just ingressed into Aries. And so Pisces loves to be, Neptune loves to be in Pisces. That's where its ruler is. So it's not so happy being in the fiery sign of Aries, because Aries wants to take things fast and it wants to go, and Neptune just wants to kind of relax, and Neptune controls our sleep, right? So you could be having some type of downloads or information, or maybe dreams about who you want to be, or new business that you want to start, or maybe starting some type of new spiritual practice, or becoming maybe even a spiritual leader of some kind in your community. And that is something that you value. So you could be having some opportunities around this. So let me know if this resonates, Taurus. You do have the Mars in the 4th house of home. So there could be some opportunities for you to have some conversations, maybe around spiritual ideologies, or even possibly religion and how you were brought up in the home, or maybe some opportunities for you to take some action around cleaning up your home. You do have the South Node in Virgo, so you could be cleaning up some things that maybe don't resonate with you, or there could be some new creative things that you want to bring into your routines. And how are you going to do that? You probably got to let something go. So if this resonated, Taurus, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like a more personalized reading, check out the description box below. My contact information is there. Happy new moon in Gemini, Taurus. Gemini, this is your annual new moon, and it is happening in your 1st house of identity and how people see you. So like I said in the beginning of this video, we do have a cazimi that is happening about 3 or 4 days after this new moon. And so it's going to be another burst of energy for you. So a cazimi is whenever a planet goes into the middle of the sun, the heart of the sun, and it's a very auspicious day. And since Gemini controls Mercury, all right, you are definitely getting an up leveling of all things Gemini. That is communication. That is short distance travel, siblings, community, short distance travel. I think I said that, cars, social media. This could be a real good time for you to possibly create something on social media if that resonates to you, because that is something new. You see where that triangle is up at the top? That is higher mind, higher learning, sharing your story to other people in order to inspire them. Or you could possibly be learning some new information. Maybe you are going to college now. We have to kind of think about where Saturn was 30 years ago in 1996. Who were you, Gemini? Okay. Maybe you want to be somebody new. You have a stellium of planets, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video. A stellium is 3 or more planets or points in a given house or sign. And you have this in the 11th house of service to humanity and giving back to others, technology. So that fits right in with learning something social media wise, or learning some type of new practice that you can implement into doing something where you're servicing to others. And you could be getting some significant downloads about what you want to do in your business, and learning new things. So take things slow, Gemini. Saturn is in your house of service to humanity, and it's going to be there for about 2 or 3 years. Okay. So you got some time. You got some time to be up leveling on your skills and deciding on who you want to be next. Okay. And you're going to have Uranus, this planet here, which is in Taurus in your 12th house. It's going to be ingressing into Gemini in the middle of the summer. So that's going to be another boost of innovation for you. So just if you're doing something new right now and it feels good, even though it's hard, keep going, okay? Because you are in alignment. And a lot of these tests that are coming at you right now are just to see if you really want to do this, okay? And sometimes with those challenges, we end up gaining a lot more experience that way, right? And wisdom. All right, Gemini, if you got something out of this, comment below and let me know how this resonated with you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It helps to get the information out there to those that need it most. And if you would like a more personalized reading, please check out the description box below. I would love to meet you one-on-one. Happy new moon in Gemini to you, Gemini. Cancer, you are having this new moon in Gemini in your 12th house. So the 12th house is all about our dreams, relaxation, endings. Okay, there could be some endings coming up that are causing you to possibly transform. Just remember that all endings are not bad. Okay, and sometimes when we allow ourselves to be mutable and allow those things to let go that we are holding on to, then something more abundant can come into our life. But we can't see it if we're holding on to things that are trying to exit. So you are having this new moon in the house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. So this is a great time for you to be setting manifestation or goals or intentions around maybe learning some type of new spiritual practice, maybe saying subconsciously good patterns to yourself. So for example, if you're wanting to create a new business because you've got a stellium of planets in Aries in your 10th house of career, you got Saturn there too, along with Neptune. So it is giving you opportunities to go down deep in what it is that you really want to do career-wise. Just because, you know, you've been doing this one thing forever doesn't mean that that's what you're supposed to be always doing. Think about it. Saturn has not been in this place in your career for 30 years, okay? You've changed a lot in 30 years. I know for me, I've spent 30 plus years in the health and fitness industry, and now I want to be an astrologer. So I'm leaning into these Aries type things in my own chart so that I can have the up leveling that I need to in my career house as well. So you are having an opportunity to have some transformation around what your subconscious patterns are. So think about what it is that you want to do possibly in business and what that entails. Not just that I want to have a business, like what do you need to have that business? You need to have discipline. You need to have organization. You probably need to be creative. Maybe you need to be thick-skinned. So these are some affirmations that I say to myself in the morning, and I usually say it 18 times. And the reason I say that 18 times is because 18 is a devil degree, according to Nicholas Dovanovich, who created the degree theory. And health habits and routines in our day-to-day, that's 18 degrees too. It's a Virgo degree. But we can take our routines and we can make them into good habits. But they don't have to always be adverse. For example, are we spending too much time on social media? Is that what we are illusioned by? Maybe buying things we don't need, or listening to things that aren't true. So there's going to be a huge revelation about a lot of information coming forward, and it just keeps getting faster and faster. So what kind of stories maybe have you believed, and why do you believe them? And are they stories that maybe you've told yourself? So breaking free from any type of religious beliefs that no longer resonate, and maybe stepping into more spiritual practices that allow you to communicate on a one-on-one level to your creator, and however that is to you. All right, Cancer, if you got anything out of this, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and comment below if this resonates. And if you would like a more personalized reading, please check out the description box below for my contact information. Happy new moon in Gemini, Cancer. Next up is our Leos. Leo, you are having this new moon in the house of service to others and the future and technology. So you might want to think about learning something new and how you can give back to others. I also see that you have a stellium of planets up here in the ninth house, which is about learning something new that is kind of like college level. So Gemini is more elementary, middle school, high school, teenagers, and Sagittarius is about adult learning, a college type learning, learning before you get to the career. Okay, so not basic information, but advanced information. So you're getting a nice sextile here to learn some advanced information on how you can maybe be of service to other people and maybe spreading that information online, because Gemini is social media and is our cars. You could be traveling to somewhere during this time and possibly communicating with people that are of a like-minded community. You are getting a lot of blessings right now to be working with others and maybe coming up with creative projects on how you can do something new and innovative and creative. So you've got Mars here in your first house, Leo, so it's giving you a little bit more energy about who you want to be, or a little bit more confidence here. But, you know, how much have you changed maybe in the last 2 years? Okay, Leo. And have you slowed down maybe the way that you communicate, or have you maybe had some realizations about who you want to be new? Okay. And where were you 30 years ago? Are you not going to be that same person anymore? Now is a good time for you to be learning something new and getting relationships that are going to be in a little bit more of alignment with you, so you can do what it is that you came here to do. So for the next 20 years, be thinking about possibly how you want to have maybe an Aquarian type job, which is being of service to humanity, astrology, UFOs, cryptocurrency, doing anything that's going to help humanity step more into the future. If you got something out of this, Leo, make sure that you comment below if it resonated, and make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that this information gets out there to those that need it most. And if you'd like a personalized appointment, please check out the description box below for my contact information and calendar. Thanks so much, Leo, and happy new moon in Gemini. Next up is our Virgos. Happy new moon in Gemini, Virgo. You are going to be having this new moon in your 10th house of career. So you might want to be thinking about, because you see where this triangle is, that is highlighting your routines, your day-to-day. So there maybe have been some changes in your day-to-day. So how are we going to implement those into our work habits? Maybe there's been a change in how you get to work. Maybe there's been a change in your duties at work, and how are you handling that, right? You're having a rebirth here of your routines and your day-to-day for the next 20 years. So it's important for us to be thinking about, if Virgo controls health and holistic health. A lot of people that are Virgos are nurses, and they like to make meals for people. They are the caregiver, right? If we look at what that constellation looks like, it looks like the woman with the harvest, right? And she's eating good food, and she's harvesting all the things that she has been working so hard for over the spring and the summer. And now it's time for her to get all those rewards, right? But in order to do that, all right, she's going to have to probably make some transformational changes, because you've got a stellium of planets. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, a stellium is 3 or more planets or points in a given house. So Virgo, you're going through some transformation over the next year. You've probably been experiencing some challenges over the last 6 months, but just understand that these routines that are changing for you are trying to help you be somebody new in your career. So what is falling away is actually, even though it's sad, is trying to make room for something new that is trying to come in. Now, you've got Mars in the 12th house of spirituality and subconscious patterns. So it could be a good time for you to maybe be spending some time alone and in solitude, and be thinking about who you want to be next, and listening for those new ideas. If you were trying to transform your business and your routine, you got to be in quiet to have some of those. If we have all this chatter from all these other people, it's hard to listen to what our inner self is trying to tell us. Let me know if this resonates with you, Virgo, and comment below if it does. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you would like a more personalized reading, check out the description box below. Thanks so much, Virgo, and happy new moon in Gemini. Libra, you are experiencing this new moon in the 9th house of learning something new, not spirituality, but religion, teaching, traveling. So you could be traveling during this new moon, or have people that maybe you are speaking with that are allowing you to create something new. You have this trine here to Pluto in the 5th house of creation, entertainment. So if you are not wanting children, make sure that you take precautionary measures, because you have Sagittarius, the house of fun, all right, far off distance travel, new things. And then you have creativity here. This could be a new creative project or creating somebody new, because you have a stellium of planets in the house of relationships. So make sure that we are keeping ourselves in balance, and that we aren't just spending so much time on social media, and that we are taking breaks from that and having good balance. Because sometimes I think that when we spend too much time on social media, we're not creating, we're actually consuming. So think about how you might want to create on social media. You are getting a lot of energy right now, Libra, in creating some type of social media channel. I also said this to the Geminis as well. I think this is going to be good for the air signs and the fire signs as well. All of these, let's see, that would be Leos, that would be Aries, that would be Sagittarius, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. That all the fire signs and all the air signs. It would be a good time for you to maybe either think about how you're using social media, and are you using it in a toxic way, or are you using it in order to create? Because this could be a good opportunity for you to create something with somebody else that maybe does not live in your community, that maybe you met online. Because you do have Mars in the 11th house of service to humanity. So you could be meeting some of these people online that don't live near you, establishing these relationships in order to create some type of new project. So let me know if that resonates with you, Libra. And if it does, make sure that you comment below and like, share, and subscribe if you got something out of this. And my contact information is in the description box below if you would like a more personalized reading. Thanks so much, Libra, and happy new moon in Gemini to you. Scorpio, you are having this new moon in your house of transformation. Now, this could be a lot going on for you, Scorpio, because that's a lot going on in the 8th house of transformation, and it's about communicating and social media. And the 8th house also controls things that maybe are hidden and detoxification. So this would be a great time for you to be detoxing from social media, or maybe detoxing from friends that no longer serve you, or maybe taking a look at how you communicate. Do you detach? Or do you communicate too much? Okay. Or do you tell everybody that everything is okay when it really is not? Okay. So making sure that you are being truthful, making sure that you are taking some type of common sense approach to what you need to detoxify from your life, because you've got a stellium of planets here in Aries in the 6th house of health and our day to day and our routine. So is there anything that you need to detox out of your life? And maybe you might want to start implementing some exercise instead of looking at social media. What do you do when you first get up in the morning? Do you do something healthy and go run, or go work out, or go do some yoga, or maybe go walk outside? Or Or are you just staying on the phone and just mindlessly scrolling? Okay, because that's toxic. You do have this trine going on in your fourth house of home. So you could be having a rebirth of your home or a change in your home. There could be some instability there. So if this resonates, maybe having some conversations around how to maybe make your home more comfortable, or implementing routines to where you can up level your home. There could be a transformation of your home, meaning you want to make it more beautiful, right? And how are we going to make it more beautiful, right? We're going to implement routines so that we have time to work on cleaning up that house, or organizing the house, or making the house just a little bit more modern because maybe it's outdated. So if you got something out of this Aquarius, if you got something out of the Scorpio, excuse me, I was looking at this trine in Aquarius, make sure that you comment below, Scorpio, and how this new moon is treating you so far. And make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like a more personalized reading, please check out the description box below. Happy new moon in Gemini, Scorpio. All right, Sagittarius, you are having this in an air sign. So you are having the trine to the new moon in your third house of communication, and you are having this stellium of Gemini and the new moon going over your seventh house of relationships. Now, I've said this to a few signs, and I'm going to say this to you as well. Anytime that you have a bunch of planets here in the fifth house, all right, that sexy time and creativity time and creating time. So we can be creating projects with other people, or we could be creating another person with another person. So if you are not in the right place to have a child, you might want to make sure that you take care of that because you could be very fertile at this time. You could also be having some blessings or some opportunities to be learning something new, and how you see the world, or maybe you're having an opportunity to go travel to that place that you want to. This could be an excellent time for you to have good travel. If you are going to be traveling at this time, Sagittarius, you control far distance travel anyway. And you could be meeting some people that you would like to create some things with, and you could be having some fun during this time as well. Take a look at your relationship that you have with social media, or how you communicate with other people. Are you allowing other people to talk, or do you talk over them? Or do you really listen, or are you trying to think about what you want to say next? Okay, so just being aware of some of these things, because I love astrology. It has taught me how to have better relationships with people, and it's taught me that I'm not as cool as I thought that I was, and I needed to have I needed to do some inner work as well. So Sagittarius, if you got something out of this, make sure that you comment below, and make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you would like a more personalized reading, please check out the description below for my contact information. Happy new moon in Sagittarius. Happy new moon in Gemini, Sagittarius. Next up is Capricorn. Before we get going, I got to take a sip. I haven't had a sip of water the whole video. And this is my second time recording it because something happened with my camera. I changed out the camera and I forgot to hit unmute. So the second time recording this at 10 o'clock at night. All right, Capricorn, speaking of 10, you control the 10th house, but you are having this new moon in Gemini in your 6th house of routines, day-to-day health habits. So that could be something of interest to you. Like, how are we going to change our routine in order to implement a new health habit? How is your sleep going? Are we waking up in the morning and having good health habits? Or are we reaching for that phone, because that's very Gemini in nature? You are having a trine to Pluto in your 2nd house of values. So what do you value? right? And you know, your value system has changed over the last 16 years. You had just had Pluto in your sign, right? A lot of Capricorns have been going through it. And so now you can breathe a fresh air. So how has your life changed, and what new routines do we want to implement into that, right? Because maybe you're starting at ground zero. And so the things that you value now are not the things that you used to value. So how can we implement those into our life? For example, maybe you value horses now and you want to start working at a horse farm, or maybe you value plants now and you want to start working and do like a little side hustle selling plants, or maybe working in a florist somewhere. This could be something good. If you want to be that thing, you have to act like that thing, right? So if I want to be an astrologer, I have to act like an astrologer. I just can't say, well, I'm an astrologer and I study astrology. No, I probably have to be out here on YouTube, and I probably have to be like putting some of these PowerPoints together, and I probably have to be studying in the background in order to put some of this stuff out there. So again, you are what you practice. So if you want to be these things, then you need to find room in your routines in order to make that happen. You could be getting a new pet at this time. Because there's a stellium of planets here in the house of pets and routines and day to day. And you are having a stellium of planets in Aries in the house of home. So you could be having an opportunity to get an up leveling of your home over the next year or so. You've got Saturn in Aries. And so Saturn is about our structure. Saturn is your chart ruler. Okay. So wherever Saturn goes, you need to be paying attention. And right now, Saturn is in the house of home. So you will be creating a new structure in your home over the next 2 or 3 years. So maybe creating some type of manifestation or mindset practice around that. I think that would be good for you to do. Okay. If you got something out of this, Capricorn, make sure that you comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like a more personalized reading, please check out the description box below. Happy new moon in Gemini, Capricorn. Our next sign is Aquarius. And Aquarius, you are having this new moon in the 5th house. Now, I've said this to a few signs because we've had a stellium of planets here in the 5th house, which is about creation, procreation, entertainment, the sexy fun house. So if you aren't looking to get pregnant at this time, you might want to take precautionary measures. This could be a fun time for you to have, you know, and if you want a baby, you know, you could be having some opportunities to allow that to manifest to be. You are having this in a trine to your identity. So maybe if you are pregnant, maybe you have a child at this time, and that is changing your identity, and now you are a parent. So see how astrology works out. You are having a stellium of planets in Aries in the 3rd house. So it would be a good idea to think about why you believe the things that you do, because there has probably been some tension points over the last 14 years, possibly, that have been causing you to reevaluate your belief systems and why you value what you do. Okay. So think about maybe a change in your belief systems. This could also be tied into positive affirmations that you say to yourself. So for example, if you're wanting to create something new, what are you doing in order to make that happen? Are you telling yourself that you're never going to make it? Or if you're wanting to create that new business, putting some affirmations into your day-to-day practice that says, I am organized, I am disciplined, I am creative, and saying that 18 times. And the reason that I say that 18 times is because 18 is considered a devil degree, according to Nicholas Stavanovich, who came up with the degree theory. And 18 degrees is also a Virgo degree. It's an earth degree, and it controls our routines. So routines can be adverse and things we need to take a look at. You know, are we spending too much time on social media? Is that taking away too much of our energy? Or are we spending time on social media and we're creating something in that place? Or are we just finding things to consume on our social media, right? So if you got anything out of this Sagittarius, if you got anything out of this Aquarius, let me know. Hit that like and share and subscribe button if you got something out of this. And if you would like a more personalized reading, please check out the description box below for my contact information. Thanks so much, Aquarius, and happy new moon in Gemini to you. And last but not least is our Pisces. And Pisces, you are having this new moon in Gemini in your 4th house. So this is a good time to be setting intentions around the home. If you are wanting to change homes, what type of things do you need to be doing in order to do that? Because Gemini is practicality, okay? It is the common sense. So we're not going to be able to move into the new house or get the new thing if we don't have any routines that support that in our day-to-day, right? It could be a good time to clean out things that no longer value. You've got a stellium of planets in Aries in your 2nd house where that green check mark is. In what we value. So maybe taking a look at the things that you value. What doesn't resonate anymore? Like clean out a closet. If you can't wear it, why are we still holding on to those things? Because those are things that you're eventually going to have to go through when you move, right? So let's go ahead and get them going now, because then that leaves more room for the new things to come in. You also have this trine here. And Pluto is going to be in your 12th house of subconscious behaviors, illusions, spirituality, and endings. So what things can we possibly let go of so we can have the rebirth and allowing our dreams and our manifestations and our hopes and our wishes to come true? You could be getting some downloads possibly about what you want your new home to look like, or maybe some things that you need to let go of, and things that you just don't value anymore. You do have Mars in your 6th house of routines, day-to-day, health habits. So it could be a good time for you to implement some type of new health habit and be an action oriented around that. You are getting blessed with those energies at this time. And it's always hard to start a new routine. I get it. And Pisces doesn't like to start new routines. They like things to stay kind of the same, but they also are mutable and they kind of go with the flow. But it's easy for us sometimes to get stuck in our patterns and our subconscious behaviors, especially if we've had some things not so fun happen to us. It's easy to kind of get those in that mindset of, well, it's always going to be like that. And that's just not true. Okay. Pisces, you are our dreamers, and you are here to make your dreams come true. So Pisces, let me know how you're doing with this new moon in Gemini. And if you got something out of this, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you like a more personalized reading, you can check out the description box below for my contact information. All right, so I have been letting my email ticker below, but here it is again, 9livesenergy@gmail.com. If you would like to reach out to me, or if you would like to make a personalized reading with me, that is in the description box below. I want to wish everybody a happy new moon in Gemini, and I hope that all of your wishes and hopes and dreams can come true. We have a lot of astrological transits that are happening right now that have just ended in Pisces. So that is the last part of the zodiac, and Aries is the first. So it's about new beginnings, action, taking the first steps, being the leader, starting something new. Okay, so sometimes starting something new is uncomfortable, but it gets easier. It's not comfortable being behind this camera. But if I want to be an astrologer, I have to at least fake it till I make it, right? And share the information out there until one day maybe this can be my full-time side hustle instead of my part-time side hustle. All right, happy new moon in Gemini, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you in our next chat for our full moon in our next zodiac sign. Thanks so much, everybody. And I hope you have a happy new moon in Gemini and manifest away. Bye-bye.